Hello everybody, welcome to my live. Thank you for joining me. Just fixing things up a little bit. My name is Laura Roderick. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from San Antonio, Texas. I like to go live on Tuesdays around 7 p.m. CST and share some fun projects with you. I feel like everything's a little crooked right now. A little messy, a little crooked. Okay, I'm still playing with a new phone stand, so that's why it's looking a little different. All right, I see myself live on my iPad. All right, well, tonight I am doing a Halloween craft along, so I'm super excited to show you the projects that I have. A lot of you got the kits in advance, so I want to thank everyone who got the kit. I checked to make sure that everyone had received them, and I was holding my breath. Hi, Renee, and everyone who ordered one received one, so yay, that's a big relief. So I'm excited. I'm in a Halloween mood. I was just away for a few days. I flew to Chicago. We drove 5 hours to Ohio, to Cedar Point, for the Halloween weekends. And oh my gosh, it was fabulous. Such a good time with the kids, the grandkids. They have so many things for the little kids too, trick-or-treating and shows, just so much fun. Rides, tons and tons of kids rides. So it really put me in the Halloween mood. We went to a bunch of haunted houses there. And the weather could not have been more perfect. So I had a great time, got back around 11 o'clock last night. So I've been kind of struggling today with being tired, but worth it. All right. So I think, hi Sharon. I think I'll turn my camera around and let's get started. We have 6 projects to do tonight, so that's a lot. All right, let me flip us around. Okay, and see how I can get this uncrooked. All right. I can put it down a little bit too. Let me push us down a little bit so we have a closer look at everything. I think that looks good. And let me just move it back just a little bit more. Okay, are we set? I think so. All right, you guys, first and foremost, I want to talk about this promotion that starts tomorrow. This is to join Stampin' Up! And what does join Stampin' Up! Means? It can mean many different things. But the bottom line is you're getting a lot of free product. So there's 2 offers, right? One is $125 worth of any products that you pick, either online or out of the catalog, for $35. That's $90 in free product. What a great, great thing. If you are not a demonstrator, you should join. Or option B, $189 worth of products for $99. So way more product if you want to go that route, your choice. But this is just one of the greatest offers that Stampin' Up! Has ever put on to become a demonstrator. What does becoming a demonstrator mean? You could just be a hobby demonstrator. All that means is you buy your products at a discount, which is great. No one from Stampin' Up! Is going to pressure you to say, hey, you should sell Stampin' Up! They're not going to do that. I will never do that if you join my team. You can do whatever you want. There's just so many perks of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and anyone who's on that is a demonstrator knows you get to do the 30-day previews where you can order stuff 30 days before everyone else so you can get things ready if you are a seller like I am. There's just so many things. Why join my team? Because you can get a discount on my kits every week, and then you'll have other uplines too. So for example, my upline is Deborah Harrison, who is amazing, and her upline is Erica Serwin. So I am downline to both of them. So I get to participate in both of their team meetings, enjoy their discounts, all that fun stuff. So it's good if you were to join my team, then you would have me, and then you would be part of Deborah's team and part of Erica's team. So it's just a really good, fun thing to do. All right. If you have any questions, email me. I won't talk anymore about it, just to say it's a great deal. Don't miss it. It's amazing if you want to get some free product. I know we're all gearing up for Christmas, right? We're going to be doing Christmas stuff pretty soon. Get some free stuff to make Christmas cards. Sounds like a good idea, right? The advent calendar, I heard, is not on low inventory yet, but it's going fast. So if you want to order the advent calendar, that is still available. It is $99, and it has 12 different, what do you call them? Things that you can open whenever you would like to, whenever you want to start your 12 days of Christmas. And they're exclusive products, so you're not going to find it in the catalog or online store. The number for that is 167335. So just a reminder about that. I think mine is going to come tomorrow, according to what I read in the shipping. Okay. All right, you guys, here are our projects. I feel like I'm still kind of crooked. I don't know. All right, we are going to do this fun little twist and pop card tonight. So we're going to make this one. It opens up, and we have all these cute little fun things on the inside. Who wouldn't like to get a card like that, right? We have a little step card that we're going to make. We have this little pocket card, and that's going to come right out here. It says Happy Halloween. You can just pull that out. We're going to do a flamingo card, of course, because my granddaughter loves flamingos. So we've got that. And then we're going to do a couple of gift bags and boxes. So I have this little gift bag with these gorgeous iridescent little, would you call them bags? I'm not sure exactly what you would call them. Let's see what it says. It says, yes, iridescent treat bags. It comes with a package of 20, and these are amazing. So we're going to do this cute little treat bag. And then we're also going to do this little box that holds a cookie. All right. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, Renee, you're getting yours Friday or Monday. Okay. I will not be waiting and opening one a day. Renee, you're going to open all yours at once? That is funny. That's, I mean, it's your calendar. Everybody can do whatever they want. Open them all, open one. That's the beauty of it. I think I'm going to open mine one at a time. Probably. You never know when I might be taken over by a little impulse and might just like do it one day. Who knows? Anyway, I'm excited to get it. I'm very much into advent calendars. Our whole family is, so that's going to be fun. Okay, you guys, let's get going. Oh, by the way, if you want to join my team, oh, you can't see this. Let me move it down so you can see it better. This is the link to join my team, and I will just leave this sitting here, and we'll just work right over it. Okay, this set, we're using the Spooky Halloween set. And it's just adorable. It has these cute, a little kitty, a little Franken puppy, bats. It has everything you need for Halloween. Nice greetings, really cute stamp set, really adorable. It has a set of dies, and really these dies are outstanding because you can cut the stamped images. You have the little one for the kitty and the puppy here, some nice bats. These are for the pumpkin basket, the broom, but who doesn't need a cute little fence or a haunted house? That's amazing. And then this one we're going to use, it makes almost like a little tag with a bat on it. So that's the main set that we're using. If you got the kit, you will need this set to complete your cards. So we've got that. Okay, also on this first card, we are going to use these down here. I used the dies. And this is the Nested Essentials dies. So I used these two dies right here, the two biggest ones, to die cut that. Okay. We're going to have to do die cutting because it's a craft along. Anyone who got the kits may have already gone ahead. I'm going to just put that there. May have already gone ahead and cut all the pieces. I sent with the kits a cutting guide. So you received half a pack of DSP. So it just shows all the pieces and the measurements for you to cut the pieces of the DSP, and then which pieces of the punch outs from the DSP we're going to use for these projects. All right, so this was mailed in the kits for people who are doing the craft along with the kit. Okay, here is our first card. All the pieces, lots of pieces, okay? So we're going to go over, now, if I don't hit every measurement, I'm going to send this in my email tomorrow, so you'll be able to have the measurements if you would like to make this card. So we're starting with half a sheet of cardstock, and this is scored down the middle at 4 1/4, and then it's 11 inches. All right, and we're scoring at 5 1/2 right here. So our card's gonna go open this way, and we're gonna build everything onto this card base. All right. So other pieces, we've got this piece of black too. So this is basic black cardstock. This is 11 by 3 3/4, and it's scored at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4. So we are going to fold this kind of hill and valley, back and forth. All right, and let me get, so that's just going to open like this, like a little accordion fold, okay? That's going to be for the inside of our card. When it pops open, we're going to build onto this, and it actually is going to open like this, all right? So we have that ready. Our third piece of black cardstock, this is the tricky one, okay? So this is going to be the mechanism. And this one is 8 by 3, and it's scored at 1 1/2. So the 3 inch, you're just going to score it long all the way down 1 1/2, and I've scored it for you with the 2 score lines if you got the kit. And then the other one, it's also scored at 1/2 and 4 inches here. All right, so it's just scored in half, scored in half. All right, so this is what we have. Next, I want to show you how to finish your score lines. I'm going to use my trimmer to go ahead and measure. And we're going to make marks at 2 1/2 and 5 1/2. So I'm going to just put it on my trimmer. I've got it at 2 1/2. And I'm going to put a little mark at the top and a little mark at the bottom. And then I'm going to go to 5 1/2. Little top, little mark here, little mark there. Okay. Now, that's where my new score lines are going to be. So we're just going to make an X. So I'm going to line up. Can you guys see them? Am I still in the frame? Let me move this up a little bit. From this dot to this dot, and this is just going to be scored. Then I'm going to flip it the other way, and we're going to score from this dot to this dot. Okay. All right. So you can see we've kind of made an X in the middle. So we will go ahead and fold on those score lines now. All right, and let me show you how to fold this. Let me make sure all my folds are burnished and somewhat flexible. Okay, so this is what I fight, okay? I fight this because my inclination is to fold these 2 pieces in, and that is not what you want to do. We're going to fold these 2 triangles right here are going to remain glued to the card. So this is going to come up. Sorry. Hold on, I want to make sure I got these right. So these are going to come, let me get my example out. Because this is the part I always have trouble with because I want to fold it the other way. So, hold on. I played with it before I got on, like about an hour ago, and yes, an hour later, I have forgotten. So, I guess you do want to fold these in, but you have to turn it sideways. Hold on. All right, let me do it like this so I can see it. It's kind of almost like a pinwheel. So the 2 long sides are going to fold together like this, and these go on the underside. Okay, all right, I don't think you saw that when I did it this time. Okay, so these 2 will fold down, take your long sides together, okay? So you're folding this side together. Same thing here. I want to do the opposite here and push your long fold line in like this, okay? So now you have like two separate parts like this, and you have your two triangles on either side. So now that I've got that, let me just burnish it really good. I don't know why this confuses me. It's just like, I just want to fold it the other way all the time. But you want to fold the long score lines in, okay? Long score lines in, and then they're going to meet like this, okay? What we're going to do is put adhesive on both of these sides, attach it to the card. All right, and so we'll do that in a couple minutes. We'll come back to that. We've got our pieces ready. Before we can glue that to the card, we need to do a little bit of decorating on the inside. So we're going to do the inside first, and then we'll do the outside. All right, clear as mud, right? It's just hard to fold that. We'll come back to that again and take another look. So I'm getting some of the pieces that I have pre-cut. So we have this piece and this piece. And then we have a couple of these little pieces and these little pieces for the inside. I have 4 pieces of the Granny Apple Green. Now this Granny Apple Green is 3 5/8 by 2 5/8. So these are going to be the backdrops. For these DSP pieces, we have the orange pattern and the Petunia Pop pattern. And these are 3 1/2 by 2 1/2. Okay, so these are all going to fit inside here. All right, let's start putting some things down so it's not quite so confusing. All right, inside of the card, let's take our 2 pieces like this, and these are 5 1/4 by 4. And we're just going to line the inside of the card first off like this, top and bottom. The rest of the stuff's really easy tonight. This is the only one that's a little bit tricky when you're putting it together. Okay, there we go. So we have the inside attached. All right, that's the inside of the card. Okay, next, let's get these pieces ready. So we've got our 4, let me put this aside. We have our 4 pieces here, and we're just gonna do 2 of them in orange, 2 of them in Petunia Pop. So we will attach that. We have a nice little border here. I like the fact, I mean, this paper is fun, excuse me, and it's nice to have the little punch outs, right? Because you don't have to do as much coloring or die cutting. Everything is already die cut for you. You can just punch it out and use it, so that's nice. Okay, one more. Now, these are going to go on that other piece of black that we have. That's going to go like this, all right? So we have the mountain in the middle. And I'm going to start with a Petunia Pop layer, and this is going to go, somehow this one ended up a little bit crooked. Hold on. We'll put it on first and then fix it. So we're going to have some skinny borders here with the black. All right. I'm going to lift this one up because I don't like the way that laid. I was being messy. It's humid enough here. This is just going to peel right up for me. All right, let's try that again. Well, we're going to settle for less than perfect. All right, so let's alternate Petunia Pop and the Pumpkin Pie DSP layers. So this will be the part that pops, that twists and pops up. Okay, now we want to decorate these. So we've kind of got our backdrop, as you can see, like this. Let's do a little bit of decorating this. I keep looking at my phone to see this, and it's very small on my phone, so I need to look to the right and see my iPad so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, so here's some of the die cuts that we have, right? We have this little flag banner that's going to go up here. We have these cute little what would you say these are? Are they some sort of crow? Hold on, I'm dropping stuff on the floor. We're gonna need that later. Okay, so we have one, and then we have his friend who's facing the opposite direction. All right, so these are gonna go just like this. So let's go ahead and put those down. Keeping it simple with my tape runner. And I'm just going corner to corner at the top. And then we'll put this one in the background. They are having themselves a little Halloween party, aren't they? Very cute. Little dance party. Okay, the next one, they have this little cauldron with this little green part right here. So let's put that part on right here. Let's see what's bubbling out of the cauldron. Oops, that doesn't look straight. And we're gonna put that down. And then we're gonna have a couple of little bats flying above it. So this can go right here. Might have to break out the glue because we're getting into smaller pieces now. Ugh, super sticky. All right, very small. So these cute little bats are just kind of flying above. All right. The next one we're gonna do is the hippo dressed as a mummy. We gotta love that. That takes up a lot of the page right there. And then we have this cute little fairy ballerina. It looks like a little teddy bear. And we also are gonna leave a little room at the top because we wanna stamp this. And she's just gonna be on an angle. So on the inside of the card, we wanted to say, no tricks, all treats, okay? This is what we have. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Here it is. No tricks, all treats. Let's just take some Memento Black and stamp that. The inside of the card is looking pretty cute, right? Nice and easy, nothing complicated. Let's put this on an angle. All right. Now, let's embellish on the inside with some of those stars. So if you got a full package of these stars, if you got the kit, and so let's just use some of them because why not? So I'm gonna just use this part of my take your pick because I don't want to damage the stars because they're foam, and I feel like using this end of the take your pick kind of smushes them up a little bit. So we're just gonna carefully lay some stars. I'm just using different colored ones. So I've got a white one here. Try not to go too fast. If you guys are crafting along, you can always hit pause too. Okay. All right, and then let's add some more. Maybe some mediums. All right, and then we want to decorate our friends over here, our little hippo friend. Are y'all having a good week? I hope everyone's having a good week. Flight last night was good. It was so smooth. It was only like 2 hours and 15 minutes from Chicago to here, which is super fast. And I had the whole row to myself. Don't you love it when that happens? So I was stretched out. Super fun. Okay. All right. Now let's do a little bit more work on our card. Well, let's put it together and then we can do some more stamping because we still have a lot of pieces left over here, you can see. Okay. So let's get the tricky part out of the way. Now again, when we folded this, let me just show you one more time. We have it like this. And we are going to, these stay straight, they don't really get folded in, but these long pieces are going to get folded in together like this. All right, and we've got this piece, it almost looks like a little house. Okay, just like this. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to put adhesive on the triangle parts, front and back. So I'm going to start with this side, and I'm going to use some of the Stampin' Seal Plus because it's super sticky. You could also use tear and tape. You could use glue, which is probably your best option. All right, so I'm going to start by putting the sticky side down, and I want it right up to the edge right here. Okay, so and it might be easier, I say in hindsight, to put the other part on this before you put it on, but we're doing it this way. All right, now I'm adding some adhesive to the other triangle, and I'm just going to close this like this. All right, so now you can see what happens when we open it. It's just going to go like that and disappear. All right, now tricky part number 2. Now that we have this, this is going to close like this, and this is going to go on its side. Okay, so we've got the mountain in this part right here, and it's all closing inside of each other, and it's going to go right here. Okay, so there's 2 flaps. So we're going to put glue on this one and on the top of this one right here. And then we're going to stick this one on the top of this right here. Can you see how that's going to go? And I probably want it to be down a little bit. So let me put my adhesive. Again, using a little bit of seal here. I know it's hard to see. I could have put this on. I'll show you on my other piece too. Okay, that's on the top. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put adhesive right here for the bottom part. Okay, so now you can see how that opens and closes. Okay, now let me show you just the mechanism by itself. Okay, so we had our little house part. The first half is being taped or glued in the front of our inside. So this one gets taped on the front. It's about this far from the side and this far from the bottom. The other side is being taped on the bottom, okay? So this is the top. The other one gets taped on the opposite side like that, all right? So when you open it, it's gonna open like this. And then the triangles, you can see the triangles are still here. These are what's gonna be glued to the inside. So if you wanted to, you could glue this together like this first, and then put it on the inside and glue it to the inside of the card. That's probably the better way to do it. I don't always do things the easy way. All right, so this part on the top, this part on the bottom, and leave your edges, and that's it. Okay, so it's just gonna open like that. Okay. All right, so our inside's looking pretty good. Let's finish it up. And to finish our inside, we need a little Happy Halloween. Oops, let me move some of these pieces because these other pieces are for later. So I have pumpkin pie. I have a basic white. That's going to be down here, and it's going to say Happy Halloween. You can stamp it a little bit more towards the top if you want to leave a little bit more room to write your name, or if you want to write something for the greeting. This is going to go on here because it's to the inside of the card. I'm not using any dimensionals or anything. Did you see that? I had black ink on my finger. Time for baby wipe. Swiped it. Okay. This will take a minute to take off, but if you work at it for a minute, it will come right off. And then we can strategically place a couple of stars over it as well, and it won't be as noticeable. Or you could just restamp it. Okay. Right in the middle. Okay, stars. Little purple placement right there. Good. And maybe we'll do one up here like this. Okay, then we still have some room to write down here. Okay, that's the inside. It appears to be, I'm going to raise this just a little bit because I feel like we're a little bit too close for seeing how this is all folding. Okay. So we've got the inside done now. The mechanism's in. It opens, twists, and pops. We have our Happy Halloween on the bottom. Cute, right? Okay. Now we need to decorate the outside of the card. And what I've done for that is I've taken a piece of the DSP. We have a little house piece. Let me find it. I hope I didn't lose that one. Hold on. I followed the instructions. Here it is. I did all my cutting ahead of time. All right. Now this one is 5 inches by 3 5/8. And it's going to go on a petunia pop, which is 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to put that away and save that for later. Before I put that down, I'm going to get out my mat because I was being premature again. Hold on. If you don't have a silicone mat, get a silicone mat. It's the best. For times like this, when I made a mistake, I want to tie ribbon around it before I put it on the card. Now, yeah, I could have done it the other way too, but around the black part too, but I prefer to do it just around this part. Okay, let's tie the ribbon. Do you guys love this ribbon or what? I think this ribbon is so awesome. It's so pretty. This will be nice and sticky, which is going to be great for holding my ribbon in place. Let me just make sure I have enough here. You got a whole roll of ribbon with the kit, so you'll have extra to play with. I'm trying to slow things down just a little bit because if you're doing a craft along, you need time to see it and then do it, right? Usually if I'm doing a craft along, I have to pause a bunch of times because I'm just not that fast following someone else crafting. Like I said, you have to kind of see it and then you're like, okay, now I have to do it. All right, we have our ribbon. All right, we have some adhesive on here. I'm going to add just a little bit more to make sure the ribbon part stays. And this goes on the front. Okay, now we need to decorate it a little bit more. We want some friends on here. So I have a couple pieces left. I have this little spooky, which this looks a little bit fat. I'm not sure I cut mine right. It looks just a little bit fat to me. So I'm just going to trim it up a little bit. You know what? Let me stamp it and then trim it. How about that? Sorry for bumping the camera. So, spooky. I'm going to go towards the bottom. And then I can trim it accordingly. And if you make it a little bit crooked, you can fix that with the trimmer. So I feel like it's just off by a tiny bit. I'll trim it up this way. Make sure it's straight. Okay. Well, it still looks a little crooked, but it's okay. It's Halloween and it's spooky, so it can be a little bit crooked. All right, we're going to just flag the ends of this. All right, and we're going to pop that up right here. And then time to color our little kitty. So I'm just going to take some Memento and take the kitty. And stamp the kitty. And then we're going to color it. Now this is really simple coloring this week. I'm not doing a whole lot of shading of anything. I'm just basically doing the coloring. All right, let's see what colors we have here. I'm going to do the kitty in Smoky Slate, and I'm just going to use the light. And then if I want to do any shading at all, I'm just going to do it with the light Smoky Slate. So I'm just going to go through and do a layer. Be careful of the nose because I want to make the nose pink. So you guys, Cedar Point for Halloween, they had so many cute things that were kind of unexpected. Like in the little kids section, as it got to be night, they had a band playing on top of a roof, so you could stand in front and see them playing on top of a roof. I'm just going to shade a little bit here. But they were all dressed as skeletons. And it was just the cutest thing ever. It was so good. And the kids were dancing in front. It was just super fun. Sometimes I feel like it's those types of things that sometimes you miss or don't know about. And we just happened to get lucky. We actually saw them 2 different nights playing. Gonna do the paws. Super, super cute. The kids really loved it. And the little kitty feet. So yeah, it was kind of early to do Halloween maybe because it's the end of September, but it was just awesome. And the weather, oh my goodness, I can't believe how nice the weather was because, you know, it's still kind of hot here. This is light petunia pop. Still hot here in Texas. No fall here. The leaves were just starting to change when we were driving through Ohio. You could see some of the trees had started to change a little bit, but because it's been so warm, unseasonably warm this year, it's kind of like almost like a little bit of a delayed fall. So I'm going back to Chicago next week, and this way I'll be going the opposite way on A80. I'm going to do the stripes of the socks and driving to Iowa. And I expect that by next week there'll be more fall colors, which will be nice. So I'm excited about that. All right, next I need some light pumpkin pie. And I'm going to do the kitty skirt with some light pumpkin pie. I always forget to do this little part right here in Smoky Slate. Like the little kitty's leg is showing. So yeah, I'm excited about more fall color next week when I go. Okay, let me grab my Smoky Slate again and just touch that up. All right. Light, pretty, and pink. Just doing the inside of the ears and the cute little kitty nose, just like that. Okay, we need to die cut this. So let's get out our die cutting machine. Move this up a little bit more so you can get a wider view. All right, we've got our plates, our base plate, and our clear plates. And I need the die for the little kitty. And so when I go next week too, it's going to be next Wednesday through like the following Monday. Looking for some Post-it tape. On the Sunday, we're going to go with the kids to an apple orchard. So I'm excited. I lived in Chicago for so long and I never ever have done that in my life. Isn't that crazy? So I don't know if it's in Indiana or Michigan, someplace we'll be doing that. So that'll be fun too. All the fall things this year. Okay, just gonna run that through. And we're gonna pop the little kitty up. Keep that handy. We're gonna need that again. Cute. Isn't she adorable? All right, let's come back down again. And find some dimensionals. So a couple on here, a couple on our spooky. Now I can't obviously take a bunch of apples, home with me, but you know, there's other things that we can do. And I think they do have some pumpkins to pick out with the kids and apple cider donuts, things like that. So excited. All right, on the sidewalk with the kitty. All right, you guys, that's it. I think we're finished with this first card. That's the tough one. Let me put this, okay, but we did it. All right, there we go. All set. All right, let's do something easier now, huh? Let's do this cute little step card next. So for this step card, I don't know where that fuzzy came from. For this label right here, I used the Textured Notes dies, this one right here, second from the smallest. And that's just what we need for the label. We're going to be using some more cutouts. So here are the pieces for this one. Now we're starting with a black card base again. And the measurements for this, they are, hold on, going to the wrong one. Okay, 8.5 by 5.5, basic black cardstock. And so we're scoring on the long side, this is the long side here, we're scoring at 3 1/4, 6.5, and then 7.5. Okay, so you've got 2 wide and then 2 like 1 inch strips right like that. Okay, here, here, and here, you're 3. Now, that's it. Let's go ahead and fold. And if you had gotten the kit, then I already scored these for you as well in your kit. Now, all the kits went out. Like I said, everybody got their kits. Thank goodness they all arrived. And I do have 2 extra kits. If anyone is interested in the kits, they're $48. But I did cut 2 extra just in case. All right, so the way this is going to go is the 2 pieces like this are going to fold in half. All right, and then this right here is going to fold up. Okay, so you can kind of see from the side a little bit. We've got, hold on. All right, see how it looks from the side? We've got this big V and then this little V, upside down V. All right, so it just goes like this. And that's our little step. And if you put it down, it just kind of sits like that. All right, so now we want to do layers. So we're going to start with some Petunia Pop layers for everything. So this piece is going to go right here. And let me see, this one is 5 3/8 by 3 1/8. I like a lot of layers. So So I like to frame everything out. Skinny, nice skinny layers for this. All right, so that piece is gonna go there. Then we have another piece that's more skinny, and this is 7/8 by 5 3/8. All right, this is gonna go at the very bottom down here. All right, let's do the orange pieces next on this one. So we're using some of that same DSP that we used for the last card with this orange pattern with the little black speckled dots and things on it. And so this one is, hold on, let me take a look, 5 1/4 by 3 and 5 1/4 by 3/4. Whoa. All right, so that's kind of the card base so far. All right, we're good. That's gonna fold up like this. All right, let's put that aside for a minute. We're gonna start working on a couple other things. Let's do our label. That's gonna be in Happy Halloween again. Here we go. See if I can not get black ink all over my fingers this time. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder if my Memento is finally starting to dry out a little bit. Let's try that again. Before it was so gooey. I had too much ink on there. Okay, that's better. All right, we've got that. Now we have some other little pieces here. So we have a piece of basic black, and this piece of basic black is 5 1/2 by 2 7/8, and it's scored at 1 1/2. So we've got a score line right here. This is going to attach here and on this side of our card, so it kind of keeps it from going too wide. So that's how this piece is going to attach, right like that. All right, so I don't see any reason why we can't attach it now. So let's just do it. All right, and then a little bit of adhesive right here. Okay, there we go. Starting to look like a card, right? Okay. Now we have a piece of Petunia Pop that's going to go on here and do that layer again, that skinny layer. And this piece of Petunia Pop is 3 7/8 by 2 3/4. Now the next layer that goes inside of here is going to be a piece of basic white. And this piece of basic white is 3 3/4 by 2 5/8. So that is going to set right in here with a little bit of the Petunia Pop border. Can you see that? But we want to add a little bit to it. So let me get a piece of scrap paper. We're going to use some blending brushes. And let's see, do I have any in the vicinity? Let's see, we need a blue and a green. So here we go. And I'm going to use a little bit of Balmy Blue for the sky. Just a little bit of added for the background. Nothing crazy. And then we'll do a little bit, I'm going to do Granny Apple on the bottom to add just a little bit of like kind of a grassy background. Easy and fast. Let me get these out of the way before they do something bad. All right, so now we have that layer. And we can go ahead and put that on. Before we put that on, let's get out some of our pieces that we're gonna need. All right, so we have a punched out tree. That's gonna go here, like that. We're going to die cut some bats. So just take the bats, the die cuts, and cut them out of basic black cardstock. That's what this little sheet right here was for. It's just like a little 2x2 sheet. And cut out 2 bats. We're just going to use one for this, and he's just going to go in the tree like that. We're going to pop him up. Okay. All right. Next, we have left this one piece of white, and we're going to do another kitty cat. So normally when I do a live Monday night, I am setting up, doing all the things, setting up the live, pre-coloring, pre-die cutting, all the good things. And of course, I didn't get home till 11 o'clock last night, and I wasn't able to do it before I left last week. So that's why I didn't pre-die cut this, but it's a craft along too. So we might as well do it like you're doing it, right? All right, same thing with the kitty. I'm boring. I'm gonna go with the same color, which is light smoky slate. So just basically coloring the same way. I am changing up the orange and the petunia pop just a little bit. Add a little bit of shading again, just with the same color, nothing special. I don't know why I feel like my kitty needs a beard. I'm gonna go down the nose and around the mouth. Do the paws. The feet. I didn't realize how much I like these little figures until I started coloring and playing with them, and they're just so cute. All right, pumpkin pie light. Some people outline and then color the middle. I do the opposite. I don't know why I do that. If you want to add any shading, just add another layer of the pumpkin pie. All right, and let's do a stripe. Now let's just finish up with the petunia pop. So another skeleton thing they had. So this was pretty amazing. This wasn't too far from the other thing. And this was during the day. And we were just walking by as the show was about to start. We didn't really even know about it. And it was called Skeleton Crew. And these guys were all dressed as skeletons, you know, in the black outfits with the white bones and stuff. But the white bones were on the back of them. So they were like turned the opposite way. So their backs, and they had like over the back of their head, they had like the skeleton face mask. But anyway, what was unexpected about this was there was like a stage platform, which was pretty neat, and it was very tall, and there were some windows on top. Well, what we didn't realize in the stage platform, like the actual stage, was a trampoline. And oh my goodness, these skeletons, the music and the dancing, and then they started doing these acrobatics on the trampoline, and it was amazing. I couldn't believe how good it was. Like, these are not just kids on a trampoline, like these are performers. It was just so good, and the kids were fascinated. I was fascinated. It was really something to see. They were like jumping on the trampoline and then back to through the windows, and doing all kinds of flips, and oh my gosh, it was just so good. All right, I was trying to play and decide, do I need the tape? But yes, I do. Yes, I do. All right, let's die cut this little kitty. Now, if you are new to crafting and you don't have a die cutting machine, this little one is a great one. It cuts a lot of these little dies. It will not cut all the embossing folders, and some dies are too big, but a lot of them it cuts. So you could get this in your starter kit. And then you'd be able to die cut if like you don't have a die cutting machine yet. Or I think you can get the big die cutting machine if you do the other one that's $189 for $99. So I'm just throwing that out there. Die cutting's my favorite. Okay, let's put our tree down. Let's pop this guy up with a mini. Now, I could be using, I never think of it, but we have black dimensionals too that I could be putting on the back of this, which really only matters if you're looking from the side, but that's probably a good idea, right? All right, a couple regular dimensionals on the kitty. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? You guys, not thinking. I forgot to do the little broom. And what did I do with my piece of scrap? I just threw it in the garbage. Hold on, let's do it real quick because we want to do the whole thing. So we have a broom, we have the little, what would you call this? Little pumpkin bucket for trick-or-treating. These are super fast and easy to color because you just need 2 colors. So let's do the late pumpkin pie and just color our little pumpkin. And I'm just going to add another layer and do a couple of these stripes. And then I'm going to use some crumb cake, light crumb cake, for the broom. Aren't these little accessories cute? I think they're just so cute. This is another one of those like forever sets for me. Because I mean, you're always going to have use for little brooms and little pumpkin trick-or-treat things. Okay, line it up. Okay, the next projects are much faster. We will not be here until midnight, I promise. All right, let's run this through. It's worth it to get these cute little pieces. Now I'm going to save this Post-it tape. Come on, I feel like everything's sticky already. Okay. Let's just take a little glue for the broom. Which is drying up already. just have the kitty holding the little broom. And we'll pop up this. This dimensional just barely fits on here. Okay, now we can put this on our card layer. All framed out. All right. Cute, right? All right. Some dimensionals on our label. I'm going to put that in an angle so you can fully kind of read it there. Let's get this other little punch out, which is this little pumpkin raven combination. And we'll put that right here. And then let's go ahead and get out some more stars. And I think I went with all purple. I am a little partial to the purple ones, the Petunia Pop ones. I will admit it. They stand out nice against the other colors, don't they? Nicely. Let's do another one like this. Okay. All right, you guys. Card number 2. That is our step card. I hope y'all like it. Hi, Jolene. There we go. Okay. Next, we're going to do this one, which is our little pocket card. And let me show you the pieces for this. We have a little Happy Halloween here. Okay, so for this one, I also brought in this other set, and this is the die set to a different set. This is Fright Night dies, and this is a really cute die set and stamp set. Do I have the stamps handy? Yes. This is the stamp set that goes with it. So you have some nice little labels, a couple more sentiments. So this coordinates with this, but I'm only using the things from this. If you got the kit this week, I die cut these for you. So we use the Boo I cut out of black. And I think that's all I used out of this, but some other really great options, right? These spider webs and stuff. I'm thinking about using that maybe next time. I don't know. I'm on the fence. But then we also are going to die cut this one out of black and our little fence out of basic gray. And we're going to do a haunted house too. All right, pieces for this one. We're going to start with just a single sheet of basic cardstock. This is 5.5 by 4 1/4. That's our base. We have our next layer, which is going to be pumpkin pie, 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, now we cut a piece of the DSP, and we have this kind of grayish pattern. You can see there were some labels on the other side of that. That's going to be our next layer that goes right here. And that DSP is 4 by 3 3/4. So there's our card base right there, all set. Now, we have a couple different pieces. I'm surprised I didn't do the die cutting. I didn't prep too well for this class. So we have 2 pieces of the basic black cardstock. And these are 3 by 3. All right. One of them is going to go right here as a layer. And then this pumpkin pie is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So that's going to sit inside here. All right. So that's going to be a layer. We need to cut out the Boo. I've already cut out for you. So that was in your kit. We're going to take and die cut the haunted house out of this piece, and the little bat out of here. And then, oh, you know what? I did these ahead of time. I just forgot that I did them. And then out of the gray, the fence. Okay. So we have these 3 pieces. I did do it ahead, but it was like 2 weeks ago. That's why I couldn't remember. So this gets cut out. The haunted house gets cut out. and then the fence gets cut out. All right. Okay. I have also this piece of either Daffodil Delight or Lemon Lolly, and we're going to put this behind here. Now you could also just die cut out, if you die cut out the house again, all these pieces are going to be cut out, and these are the ones that we want to show. So I'm just going to line it up on two edges here, and then just start cutting around it, and then glue it to the back. All right, so I'm just kind of going around. I just need it to show through the windows and things, right? So I don't need any of this right here. Just cutting that off. I can cut a strip off of here. I don't need that. And then I'm just going to cut. I need it not to be in the way of my circle. Okay. See how we have that here? So now we have it kind of lit up in the back. All right, let's take some adhesive, a little bit of glue, and just dot around. All right, and bring it to the front and make sure I can kind of just mush it around. Make sure it goes all the way to the bottom. All right, that looks pretty good. We will let that dry for a second. Okay, so this little piece right here, you can see how we die cut it, and then the folds, I want to make sure you can see it. It's die cuts out this little bat, and there's a little score line right here. Trying to look at my iPad to see if you can see what I'm talking about. So we're just going to fold on the score line and fold it in half. Like this, okay? Then you get this little piece with the bat sticking up, all right? And it's almost like a little tag because you've got the front part and the back part of it. All right, so let me just burnish these little folded edges right here. And we're gonna be attaching this to our pull-out piece right here. And that's just gonna go on like that. So I'm just gonna put it on temporarily. I'm gonna have it stick up a little bit because I wanna know where to do my stamping. So for this, I have the Happy Halloween all the way at the bottom, and I'm doing that in pumpkin pie. So let me clean my stamp because I've used it twice in black already. Thing's a little bit wet. Okay, pumpkin pie all the way at the bottom. I feel like I moved the stamp that time. Let's see what happened. Okay, that's fine. And then we'll take some of the bats. There's a little bat stamp, and we'll do some black bats. Pieces stuck to me. Make sure they're right side up, and these are just going to go right here. All right. Now we can go ahead and glue that on, and I'm going to glue this front part first, and I want a little sticking up, so I'm mostly putting the adhesive at the bottom. All right, like that. Renee, I'm reading your comment. Really funny. That's cute. Okay, then I'm just going to add some adhesive on the back too. All right. Cute, right? You can make really cute bookmarks out of this too. Okay, so that's going to be for the inside of our card. We will add, you know how I love to color my little rhinestones, right? So let's just take some rhinestones if I can find them. Ruh-roh. No rhinestones. They're missing. What happened? I'm pretty sure I have more, so hold on a second. And let's see if I can find some. I'm just going to take 3 of them and color them with dark pumpkin pie. Let's see. These take the color so well. All right. And I'm just going to put them underneath here. 1, 2, 3. Make sure they're straight. Okay. There we go. All right. So we can start building on our piece right here. Let's take our pumpkin pie layer and just adhere it. We can put our house down. I'm just going to do this flat right at the bottom. We can stamp some more bats if we would like to. Can't have too many bats, right? Those will be right up here. And let's do our fence. Now this fence is a little bit skinny, so you could run it through with your adhesive sheets and turn it into a sticker, which is always a good idea if you remember. I don't mind trying to make my glue skinny though. All right, and I only want it to go part of the way across, so I'm just gonna place it like this, and then I'm gonna cut off the rest of my fence at the edge. I don't want it to go all the way across. All right, there we go. Now we need to attach this to the card. Let's glue our boo while we've got our glue still working. It's a really cute little boo, isn't it? It's got the little curly cues in it. Right in the corner. Now, to put this on, what I did was I added a little bit of the adhesive strips. So we'll want to do that on 3 sides. And I want to do it as close to the edge as I can. So I have enough room for the card to easily slide in and out. Now, if you don't have adhesive strips, you could take your dimensional sheet and just cut off the edges kind of thin. You'll get the same exact effect. All right, that will just go here. Now this can just slide inside, and then we're just going to add some stars like that. And I just did black ones, and we have so many, why not use a bunch of them, right? All right, that one was pretty easy, right? We're getting progressively easier as things go by. All right, so there we go, card number 3. All right, next, decided to add a flamingo card because we had to use the flamingo. This one's super easy. It's just a couple of layers. We didn't add anything special to this one. So we have basic card base, right? So Petunia Pop, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. It's going to open this way. 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside that we're going to stamp Happy Halloween with the cute little bat on the inside. So we've got that. We're going to do a basic black layer. So we end up with a little bit of a skinny layer here. And so our basic black layer is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And before we put this down, we're going to tie some ribbon. All right. We need a layer pre-cut DSP, and this is 4 3/4 by 4. So that's going to go here, but it's going to go all the way to the edge here, and we're going to have some black area right here. This one I did with a little window in front and a front door. So I thought it was a cute trick-or-treat, I don't know, scene, doorstep. All right, all the way over to this side on the right. See if I can get it kind of even. Okay, so now we can go ahead and tie some of that beautiful ribbon. Whoa. I love Stampin' Up! Ribbon. They have so many different, I mean, first of all, it coordinates with everything, right? So you gotta love that. But it comes with so much on the roll. I really love that. You don't run out. Like sometimes if you get them at a discount store, there's only a few yards on the roll. This just goes for miles. And especially if you're cutting classes, that's really important too if you're including the ribbon, which I always do because you can get a lot out of each roll for the classes. Okay, there we go. There's our bow. I feel like it's a little big, but let's cut that. I wasted ribbon, shame on me. Okay, and I'm gonna just throw a little glue dot underneath just to kind of hold that in place. Let me just pull off a glue dot. I'm gonna stick it right underneath the knot there. Okay, got a little fray going right here. Okay, now we can go ahead and put this layer on the front of our card. More fuzzy frayed. Okay, there's the front so far. Now, I have this little pumpkin pie label, and we're going to do spooky on that. I'm going to do it all the way over to this side. In Memento Black. Now you can cut it off if you want, or you can just stick it under here, however you want to do it. Why is it sticky? It's not, it's the glue dot. All right, so I'm gonna cut part of mine off, and that's what I did with the sample. And I'm just gonna put it down with some seal. Just like that, okay? So a little bit underneath the ribbon, just like that. All right, cutouts, super easy. Now, these are not punch outs. These I took from the DSP and actually cut them out myself. I think there's a sheet in there. I don't know if I have any left because I have cut this into a million gazillion pieces. But let me see if I can find a piece of that paper real quick to show you. Okay, here's a piece of the paper. So on this side, we've got the orange that we've already used. On this side, I took this guy and just fussy cut him out, and I took the flamingo and fussy cut her out. All right, that's where those came from. All right, so these guys need to be popped up. And they're kind of thin and skinny, so I might add some smaller dimensionals just to keep all the things in place. This guy will be fine with just 2. On the step, and then let's get some minis for the flamingo. I'm going to just cut off a couple of little skinny pieces for the feet because I just kind of want to ground the feet in there. So I'm just cutting off some edge pieces. They might be too big. They're going to be really small. Where's my thing? Trying to think what else we did at Cedar Point. You know, we did all the haunted houses. They have those at night, which are super fun. They had one that was based on the movie The Conjuring, and that one was not your typical haunted house where they have, you know, people coming out at you. It was more like a paranormal experience, and, you know, the actors who were in there were, you know, kind of panicky and kind of ran you through the house. You had to go through closets with clothes. They made you crawl through a crawl space, like on your hands and knees crawl. It was a pretty interesting experience. I hadn't been to a haunted house like that before. But these are all inside the amusement park, just like they are at other places like SeaWorld and Six Flags. But just super, super fun. I feel like I want to do some haunted houses with my husband because he doesn't go to Cedar Point because he doesn't like roller coasters. So he stayed home, but I'd like to do some with him because we live super close to Six Flags Fiesta Texas and SeaWorld San Antonio. They're super close to our house. So maybe we'll do some haunted houses this season. Okay, 5 1/4 by 4. We are going to do Happy Halloween, and I did it in black in the example, but since our orange is already on the stamp, let's mix it up a little. And we have a little bit of orange on the front. Let's do orange. Pumpkin pie. And then the other thing I did on the inside was just add our second bat that we die cut before. So I'll just add a little bit of glue to that and put our bat on. And then a little bit of a strip of DSP at the bottom. And that's this piece right here, that Petunia Pop piece. So that's going to go on the bottom. All right, and then that's the inside of our card. All right, there we go. Okay, card number 4. Deep breath. We're getting there, right? All we have is a couple of treat things left, and I feel like those are pretty easy to do. So next one we're going to do is just this little treat bag. And I couldn't resist doing it using these iridescent treat bags for something, right? So we're just going to decorate those. Super easy. Let me show you guys again what they look like. They're the iridescent treat bags. Super fun. This part right here, you can see there's a label behind here that was die cut already. And I used the branching out dies again to use this label. I love these dies. I think they're so pretty. So we're going to use that label. So here are the pieces for this part of the project. Super easy. Oh, wow. Did I not put it in the iridescent bag? Did I not send you guys iridescent treat bags? OMG. What was I thinking? All right, hold on a second. Let me get some out. Or did I? I want to say I thought I included some. Okay, anyway, here we go. We're going to start with this. I've got a piece of basic black cardstock, and this is 6x4, and I'm just scoring it at half at 3. All right, so this is going to be kind of what we're building off of here. All right, we're going to take our iridescent treat bag, and we're going to put some candy in it. Now, I used candy corn here. I'm going to put some Gummy Nerds in here. And just fill this up. I like how the colors match all the colors that we're using, right? Maybe a couple more. Okay. All right, this is going to go on here, and it's going to get stapled. Now, it might be a little bit long, so depending on how much, you can fold this over. You can even seal it a little bit so things don't get stale inside. So I'm just going to add a little bit of seal and fold this over just a little bit. All right, I am going to, hold on, I need to get my stapler. And we're just going to staple this right here, just like this. Now I want to make sure I've got my edges covered up and it's lined up pretty well. It's sticking out just a little bit, but I think we're pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go inside a little bit because I don't want these to show. So I want to go a little bit more inside, because then we can cover this up. I'm going to flip it over because this is the part I want to cover up more. Okay, so let's get some layers together for this. The next layer I have is pumpkin pie. And this piece of pumpkin pie is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. So that's going to go on here next. That'll cover that up nicely. All right. Next, I have a piece of the DSP. This is 3 1/2 by 2 1/2. Just like that. Let's tie some ribbon before we put our label on. This would be a really nice gift to give out at Halloween to coworkers, teachers. Sorry, I didn't make that tight enough. I would like to make some of these for my coworkers. I think these Nerd gummies are delicious. Nicole brought some in the car when we were traveling this weekend, and they were really, really good. Okay, I want this to be kind of up and down. So I'm going to make my ribbon go that way and slide it over. Make sure I have it in a spot where I want it. Okay. Now we've got this little label that we're going to build on. Excuse me. So that's going to get popped up, and that can kind of hide that part that's a little bit twisty. I feel like we have so many great dies right now. All kinds of shapes and fun things to use on all of our projects. Okay, there we go, a little bit of our background. Okay, now we have a couple little pieces of Granny Apple Green. They're 1 3/8 by 3/8 and 3 1/4. Nope. There's, hold on. Let's get out a ruler. Very, very skinny. This is the one that's 3/8 of an inch, okay, by 1 3/8. And this one right here looks to be 2 1/4 by 1/2 inch. So no tricks, all treats. So really, if you just had one piece in here, I'm going to use this to stamp on. You can just stamp this and then trim it. So I think what I did was, we have, hold on, where's my stamp? All tricks. Okay, no tricks, all treats. So let me clean this off because it's kind of gooky. So what I was trying to say is you can just stamp this as it is on a piece of Granny Apple and then cut it yourself into pieces. But that is not how I did it for this. So I'm going to use a little bit of my Post-it tape. And let's do the all treats first. Take that off. All treats. Clean it up. We'll tape off the other piece. No tricks. Okay, so that's going to go like that. Going to go like that. We've got a couple little pieces of candy corn that are punch outs from the DSP. So we're going to put a couple pieces here and here. And then this square that we have that I think is like 3 by 3, we're going to do the puppy. All right, so let me get the puppy. Who is also adorable. A quick coloring for him. Now I used the crumb cake color for him. And again, shading just with the same color. Just going over it twice. So Miss Emmeline was very excited at Cedar Point because, you know, she goes on the kiddie rides, which is fine. But this year she was 42 inches and she could go on Iron Dragon. So that was her first, like, big roller coaster. I'm just going to shade a little bit. Her first big roller coaster. So she was super, super excited. And of course, had to get a t-shirt. An Iron Dragon t-shirt to celebrate. And I think she got like an Iron Dragon Squishmallow too. Okay, there's our puppy. Now we have to do the hands. But now, before she can go on any of the big coasters, she needs to grow another 6 inches. So let's do some light pumpkin pie. So it's probably going to be 2 years before she grows 6 inches to do the big mega coasters that they have there. So we went on a couple of new coasters this year that they had. So one of them was, they've always had Top Thrill Dragster. And 2 years ago, they closed it down and then they revamped it and named it Top Thrill 2. Well, last year when we went, it was shut down. It wasn't open ever, so we never got to ride it. So this year, we got to ride it. And oh my goodness, it is a crazy, crazy ride. Super, super fun. Super fast. Super fast. And super high. I think it's like 420 feet. Ugh, it's crazy. Oops, let's do stripes. And then the other new coaster that they had this year was a tilt coaster. Granny Apple Green Light. So the tilt coaster, oops, that's lemon lime twist. Hold on. Granny Apple Green. So what it does is you're on the coaster train. It takes you all the way out to a platform that's kind of hanging over. Then it tilts 90 degrees down and it sits there for a few seconds. And then you're just plunged 90 degrees down, which is crazy. But fun. I mean, that's why we go for that kind of fun, right? And that one was called Siren's Curse. I truly believe Cedar Point has the best coasters in the world. All these crazy, every time they do a coaster, they want to break a record. Tallest, fastest. I mean, they've been doing that for so many years, and just love, love, love it. And from our hotel room, because we stay on property, the hotel is so beautiful. You can see out our window all the coasters, and then on the other side of the building is Lake Erie, Petunia Pop Light. I'm just gonna kind of do a swirl on here. So it was gorgeous sunny weather, so the lake was gorgeous. It was so pretty. And Cedar Point's on a peninsula, so you are surrounded 3 sides by water. You have to drive through the causeway to get over there. And it's just breathtakingly beautiful. Okay, let's die cut this guy. Can you tell I like the place? I don't stop talking about it. Little Franken puppy. All right. Whoops. Hold on. This was a lot of projects tonight, right? But we're doing good. We're almost done with this one, and we just have one more left. All right, let's finish putting this together. These labels, I'm just going to add a little bit of seal. Come on. All right, you guys, next week, I'm not going to be here because going back to Chicago, driving to Iowa, gonna do a watercolor class. So I'll be doing that. And then I will be back the next week for a few weeks to do some more fun projects. Okay, you can pop this guy up if you want. I think I will. I didn't originally, but why wouldn't we? He needs to be popped up. Look how cute he is. I just love him. More stars. More stars. Where are you? All right, there is our cute little treat. Okay, you guys, we have one more project. What do you guys think of this treat bag? Super easy, right? Okay, lastly, we're gonna do our cookie box. Now, we've done these before. I love the little Target cookies that are inside. I actually brought some of these with to Cedar Point for the kids. This one's half eaten, don't look at that one. But they come in different. There's bats, Frankenstein, ghosts. We'll put a ghost in this time. Little spider webs, little cats. I mean, Target really does a good job. And then the one on the inside of this one is the pumpkin. Whoa, crumbs, what happened? Little pumpkin cookie. So this box is perfect for those cookies. So let's get started on that one. Now, we've done this box before. What I'm adding this time also is we're going to use this large, stylish shaped circle. Here are our pieces. Pardon the crumbs. I may have been eating some cookies. I ate half of that other spiderweb one. Okay, so where's the black part? Did I not have a black part? I think there it is. It's separate. Okay, so the measurements for this basic black cardstock, this is 10 3/4 by 5 3/4. So we're scoring on the long side at 3/4 inch. It's actually on the short side. It's long though, on the short side. So 3/4 inch and 5 inch. So we've got a 3/4 inch border on both sides. Then on this side, we're doing 3/4, 5, 5 3/4, and 10. So basically what we have is a 3/4 inch all the way around. So let's go ahead. Just fold and burnish everything. Okay, now these are going to be the sides over here. So these are the ones that we're going to cut. So I'm just going to start by cutting into all these edges. Now, when I do these boxes, I always map them out. So, and kind of say what parts get cut off, that kind of thing. That's how I always start my boxes. I just get out my little graph paper and start drawing and measuring. Okay, so you can see how this is going to fold up. We're going to have our bottom part here. So this is going to fold in like this. All right. This part's going to go on the inside here, like that. All right. So this is going to be our lid right here. Now you can keep it square if you want. Or what I like to do is I'm just going to cut across here, and that way the front of it, I'm just doing a little like pie wedge angle here. We're going to have our flap that just kind of looks pretty. All right. Now, if you want your side flaps to look pretty too, it's probably easier so they get tucked in. So I'm going to cut some little pie wedges here too, because these are going to get tucked in. This is the top part of the box. Okay. Now you can kind of see what we've got here. This is the top. All right, and this is the bottom part right here. This one wasn't very straight. What's the matter me? Okay, let's start adding some glue. So I want these two parts to be tucked in. Like this. Now you can either trim these up or you can do little pie wedges again to these little flaps if you would like. Now, right? Okay, now we have the bottom base of the box all squared up. We can put our cute little cookie in. Just like that. We're going to tuck the sides in, and I'm going to leave the flap in the front showing. All right, then we're going to use a little bit of ribbon to tie around it and keep it shut. All right, so I think I can go ahead and put the ribbon on now. What I like about the boxes and treat bags is they're easy. I'm going to put this right in the front. They're easy to do because basically we're just going to be decorating a square, or in the last case, a rectangle. So they're super easy to decorate. A nice big bow. Oh, this doesn't want to stick. Gotta hold those sides in for a second. Okay, so that brings us to our next pieces. We have our pumpkin pie, and our pumpkin pie is 4x4. Excuse me, Granny Apple Green is our next layer, and that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Next, I have a piece of the Spooky Halloween DSP. This is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. So we can go ahead and layer those up. So the calendar kits are already cut from last week. You know, I was gone all week, so I wasn't working on things. So those will be going out shortly. They're cut. I just have to do the ribbon and embellishments and just put the kits together. So that won't be too much work. Those should be going out very shortly. But that's why I need to take next week off because, again, I'm leaving to go out of town and I still need to get kits out before I start new projects. All right, here we go here. All right, so let's take our circle. That's going to be a backdrop here. Now, on the one I did, I had the ribbon going through this way. You can do that if you want. You can tie the ribbon around after you put the squares on and then put this on top. Either way, I think looks fine, just like that. All right, so we're going to stamp another puppy and color. Last coloring project for tonight. I'm glad these are super fast and easy to color. This time we're going to make our little Franken puppy green. So we're going to use some Granny Apple Green to color him. Whoa. Do you know how many of these I've colored now? So many. As the kids would say, so many. Good thing they're fast and easy. Okay. Let's get his ears, and I will give another coat. Make those a little bit darker. Okay. What do you think of the green puppy? Green puppy. Okay, let's next pumpkin pie again. Shorts. All right, Petunia Pop. I feel like my Petunia Pop is very wet marker. Maybe I haven't used it that much. Okay, do the little stripe. We'll do the candy swirl, and this guy's ready. We'll do our last die cut, and we'll be all set. We're going to do one more stamping on our little orange piece of cardstock. Sorry for shaking the camera. All right, I don't want to lose these cute little dies, that's for sure. All right, let's pop these things up. I'm going to pop up this. Lots of layers. This guy. Can't get it off. Ugh. Right in the middle. Don't worry, eat sweets. Let's stamp that. I thought we were done stamping. We had one more thing. And this we're just going to stamp on our long piece of pumpkin pie, and then we'll cut it up. All right, let's just use a little bit of adhesive to put this on the edges. You can back it up with a little bit of dimensional in the back if you would like. Don't worry, eat sweets. And then let's get some more of those candy corn punch outs and just attach those. Whoa, did you see that? It fell from way above. Okay, more stars. Guess what color? Yep, purple ones. Let's see, did I have any extra room? Not much. And where can we stick another little one? I guess down here. Okay, that's it, you guys. We did 6 projects. That's the most I've ever done in a live before. That's a lot of projects. So this is the last one with our little cookie project. You guys, thank you for ordering the kits. I appreciate it. I hope you were able to craft along or, you know, watch the replay. Take your time to do it. You don't have to rush through. But let's take a look. Just kind of all the projects we made. So many projects, right? So we have our twist and pop card that we did. We had our step cards. We did the flamingo. We did the little pocket card. We did 2 of the treat boxes. And we also did a treat bag. So, phew, that's a lot of projects, right? I mean, I know we only did 1 each. But thank you. Renee, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a good week. If you signed up for the class, I already sent you the project and measurement sheet. But I will put it in the email tomorrow if you didn't get the class, if you want to make any of these projects. So that'll go out in tomorrow's email. Don't forget about Paper Pumpkin, Cozy Christmas through October 10th. And don't forget, if you'd like to sign up with Stampin' Up! And get that fabulous discount, that starts tomorrow. All right, you guys, have a good week. I will talk to y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye.